Hai teachers, welcome back in Accidental Teacher Channel bersama saya, Miss Sari. Accidental Teacher Talk. Siapa dari kita teman-teman pendidik yang tidak mau menjadi seorang guru dengan network yang sangat luas, baik secara nasional maupun internasional? Tentu akan sangat menyenangkan bila kita bisa berkolaborasi dengan guru-guru dari negara lain untuk mengembangkan kemampuan mengajar kita. Oleh karena itu, kali ini Accidental Teacher Channel akan berkolaborasi dengan Bridge dan akan menyampaikan informasi mengenai program Bridge bagi guru-guru yang mau menjalin kerjasama dan juga mau memiliki pertemanan secara internasional dengan guru-guru yang ada di Australia. Apa kira-kira itu Bridge? Dan bagaimana caranya menjadi salah satu guru Bridge? Tenang saja, di Accidental Teacher Channel, Miss Sari akan mengupas tuntas tentang semua yang kalian perlu tahu tentang Bridge. Dan materi Bridge ini sendiri akan kita bahas dalam 4 episode. Jadi, kita tidak hanya akan berdiskusi mengenai program Bridge bersama teman-teman Bridge dari Indonesia, tetapi juga langsung dari Bridge Australia, bahkan teman-teman pendidik lainnya yang saat ini sedang menjalankan tugasnya menjadi guru Bridge. Oleh karena itu, langsung saja di episode perdana ini kita akan berdiskusi tentang apa itu program Bridge dan juga bagaimana caranya untuk bisa mendaftar sebagai guru Bridge. Dan langsung saja di sini ada Jessica. Hello Jessica.
Hello. Thank you
How
for
are you?
having me. I'm really good, thank you.
Glad to have you as well. Okay, so basically, Jessica, what are you doing in Bridge?
Thank you so much. I am the Senior Program Coordinator of the Australia-Indonesia Bridge School Partnerships Program. And there's a team in Melbourne, in Brisbane, and in Jakarta.
Selain Jessica, kita hari ini juga ditemani oleh Nurfitra Y. Asa. Y-nya itu apa nih, Kak? Namanya lengkap?
Nurfitra Yuta Asa, selamat sore Kak Sari. Saya Nurfitra Asa atau bisa dipanggil Asa, dan saya program koordinator untuk Australia-Indonesia Bridge School Partnerships Program berbasis di Jakarta.
Nah, teman-teman pendidik, sekarang kita mau tahu nih ya, kira-kira apa sih itu program Bridge dan kira-kira apa dan bagaimana kita mengapply program Bridge. Dan juga apa sih kira-kira benefitnya dari kita? Ini kita mau dengar dulu nih kira-kira ya ke Jessica. So Jessica, can you please tell us what is actually Bridge program and what is the benefit of Bridge program for us teachers?
Great question. Thank you so much. So the Australia-Indonesia Bridge School Partnerships Program is an international school partnerships program. So it's funded by the Australian government through the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, and it's implemented by Asia Education Foundation, AsiaLink, at the University of Melbourne, where Asa and I both work. So the Bridge program aims to create sustained and collaborative school partnerships between Indonesian and Australian school communities. So that is educators, being principals and teachers, students, and the wider network of people in the school. It also aims to improve pedagogical knowledge and skills that teachers need to create the global leaders of tomorrow. This in turn contributes to the intercultural understanding and global awareness of teachers and students in Australian and Indonesian Bridge school communities. Now, what is important to note is that as of 2022, the Australia-Indonesia Bridge School Partnerships Program has established 200 bridge partnerships. So this is 200 schools and madrasas across 18 provinces in Indonesia and 200 Australian schools across every state and territory.
All right, so it's actually, there are a lot of schools in Indonesia also has been like working together with the schools in Australia, is it? Right? Yeah. So in what year it was started, actually, the Bridge program itself?
Great question. So it was started in 2009. That was the year that the first program and partnership was established. And so it's still going. So it's a pretty impressive program. And I do also want to add, it's not only senior schools, SMP, SMA, SD, it is all three levels. So it has teachers from SD all the way up to the top levels of SMA.
All right, so that's great. Okay, maybe this is for Kak Nurfitra. How is it actually in Indonesia, the bridge program itself? Like, what the bridge alumni done so far? Like, and how about our government support for the bridge program itself in Indonesia?
Oh, thank you, Kasari. So as Jessica has mentioned, in Indonesia, we are working in 18 provinces across the archipelago. And yeah, well, those schools are partnering with schools from across all states and territories in Australia. So similarly, like the schools in Australia, the Indonesian schools also are led by educators, or the bridge school partnerships in Indonesian schools are led by what we call bridge educators. And so in preparing for their school partnerships to be sustainable and to be growing, we equip educators with lots of professional development or professional learning programs at the start of the partnership being established and throughout the years to follow after they have established their school partnerships. So things like workshops and counseling, and also things to support their school partnerships program to grow. We do that. And as much as possible, we also extend that to our educators in Australia as well. And you mentioned a very important point about stakeholder involvement, because the support from the government is very much needed for schools and madrasas under their respective jurisdictions to be flourishing in their school partnerships program. So we engage with those local government officials as well whenever we can, and that's also true in the in whatever that we do, whether that be in person or online engagement.
All right, so it's not only about the teachers, but also about the community itself, right? It's really interesting, I think, right? Because that's what we need, actually, the collaboration. Because ahead, it's time for the collaboration, right? So I'm really glad for that. So, like, as what I can conclude from the information that I get, like, it will not only, like, help the teachers to develop their professionalism, and also the schools, and also, of course, helping the students through the teachers, right? So how do we can apply for the program itself, right? Is it for every teachers, or is there any requirements need to be met just to be selected as the teachers, as the participant? Maybe Jessica, you can answer first.
Yeah, of course. I will say that the Australian team manage all of the Australian school applications, and the absolutely fantastic Jakarta team, of which ASA coordinates it, manage all of the Indonesian school applications. So in this case, I might actually hand over to ASA to go a little bit more in depth around the application and selection process in the 18 provinces in Indonesia.
Sure, thanks.
All right, so yeah, what about Fitra from Indonesian side?
Sure, thank you. So applications, when applications are open, it will be widely advertised throughout our networks, and this is across the 18 provinces. So schools can apply online, and of course, as we mentioned earlier, the support from the respective local government office is required as part of the application process. At the moment, we're not yet in the position to share when the application will be open this year, but we will certainly be sharing that across the network and across, Kasari's network through Accidental Teacher as well. And as Jessica mentioned in the beginning, it's open to all levels of education. So from primary to secondary, and that includes the SMP and SMA, and also the SMK. So vocational high schools are also welcome to join. As mentioned as well, both schools and madrasas, so those that are under Ministry of Education, Culture and Research, as well as under Ministry of Religious Affairs, are welcome to apply, as long as they are using the national curriculum. and they are willing to participate and use ICT in the collaboration, and is willing to improve their intercultural understanding through myriads of ways through the collaboration. So everyone is welcome. So when the application is open, they can lodge an application, again with the support of their relevant local government offices. And more information on the requirements and what are the eligibility criteria for both schools and the nominated teachers will be also be supplied alongside the application process. And I'm sure in the next few episodes, we'll touch on that in more deeper.
Okay, so but it needs to be highlighted that it should be the national curriculum schools, not the international schools, right? So yeah, it must be highlighted because yeah, like maybe while we are thinking about exchanging program, one thing that we need to comes to our mind that it's we need to be able to speak English. So people will think that okay, so teachers from international schools might be able to apply for this program, and because they will be able to speak English better, right? But that's what I want to highlight. That nggak apa-apa kalau misalnya kita belum pede dengan bahasa Inggris. Selama kita belajar, kita bisa coba juga programnya, karena ini programnya ditujukan untuk teman-teman Bapak Ibu yang berada di sekolah dengan menggunakan kurikulum nasional. Seperti itu. Nah, alright. So, while we are applying for the program, what will the teachers get? I mean, what will happen during, before the program, during the program, and after the program? Maybe Nurfitra can help us with these questions.
Sure. So with the Bridge program, as teachers and schools and the wider school community, as we touched on earlier, be involved in the program, we're hoping that they get access to a wide network of educators and students from across the Asia Pacific. I think that's one of the most important thing to highlight from this program. The availability of that network to share good practices from each other, and also to learn from each other, and also to collaborate on several projects. And so with the partnership establishment, of course, schools will get partnered with their partner school. And through that, they can collaborate on projects, they can exchange good pedagogical practices between teachers, and that's true for partnership collaboration and also for classroom learning as well. So things that they can learn from each other and apply in their classroom. Topics or projects that we've seen come out of the partnership are just as outstanding. It can involve things such as digital literacy or ICT. It can involve topics such as gender equality, disability and social inclusion, student and teachers' well-being, sustainability and climate change, and other important topics that are part of the global issues that we need to solve simultaneously and collaboratively. As well as really fun and interactive topics and themes as well, such as cultural exchanges and dance and song performances and things like that as well.
So how long will the exchange program occur? Like, for example, like the teachers from Indonesia will go to the Australia. How long will the program take?
That's a really good question. So when a school becomes part of the Bridge cohort, so if they're successful, most Bridge partnerships stay active for around 5 years. However, we have some that are 12 years old. So when the teachers first join, the first thing that they do is participate in what we call professional learning program. So fingers crossed, that's in Indonesia. But if COVID still gives us a bit of issues, it'll be online with the travel component happening when it's safe and can do so. So the very first experience they have is together undertaking professional learning workshops in things like design thinking, project-based learning, inclusive education, digital literacy, and ICT skills. And so they have that fabulous experience together, which has the in-person or the training and a homestay and school visit in Australia for the Indonesian teachers and in Indonesia for the Australian teachers. once they kind of graduate from that point, they have access to a range of online or in-person educator workshops, which are 1 or 2 day workshops on a specific topic, which have resources and guest speakers. They also, depending on how the partnership progresses, have different types of grant opportunities, as well as different online platforms and resources. So if I think about how long they can go for, the shortest time frame is normally about 2 or 3 years. But we've found that the more the teachers join the educator workshops and apply for the grants and find different and fun things to do with their partner school, they last for 10, 12 years. That's what we aim to get all the partnerships to go for that long. And that's why we have all these different kind of mechanisms to support them for going for so long.
So that's quite a long time after we are accepted, isn't it, right?
Quite a
And
long
yeah,
time. And I do also want to say,
quite a long time, but
yeah, quite a lot. They're very impressive, these partnerships. But we do understand that, not everybody is at a school for 12 years, not in Australia, and I don't think in Indonesia as well. So one thing that we really aim to do is to have some core bridge teachers, but like Asa said before, bring in other people from the school so that if the main teacher has to move on in 4 years, the partnership can continue without them and it can take on a new life. So that's why we have such a alumni and whole school strategy to make sure that, even if the teacher is fabulous, they move on in 5 years, this whole school still gets to benefit from this experience, not just the 1 or 2 teachers.
well, yeah, that's really give the benefit to the school as well, right? So yeah, it can be continued. Yeah. So actually, speaking about the application, I'm thinking about, is there any targeted areas or every areas in Indonesia eligible to participate in this program?
Great question. Unfortunately, at this time, we're not yet in the position to really publicize about the dates and
Ah.
also the requirements. But when we do, we will be sharing that across. Hopefully, this year's cohort, the application for this year's cohort can open. And when that happens, we will be sharing that across our
Oh
networks.
yeah, I wait for that. Okay, what about is there any specific age for the applicants, or is it only for any, like for example, only English teachers, or for all subject teachers? For the applicants, maybe from Fitra?
The application is put together by a school to be considered to join the partnership or to join the Bridge School Partnerships program. And then within the application, there are 4 teachers being nominated as part of the application. So for the school, there's a set requirements that they need to fulfill when filling in the application, and likewise for the teachers as well. So in terms of schools, as I mentioned, some of the things that we need to be considerate of is they're using the national curriculum. They offer English, whereas that can be, as part of the curriculum or as part of an extracurricular activity, because we know that now in primary schools that's not compulsory anymore. And also for the teachers, they have all the things that that can potentially be an asset to be a great partner teacher. So the willingness to learn others' cultures, and also the willingness to improve the ICT and pedagogy skills and things like that. But also some of the motivation that we want to be hearing from them as well as part of the application. What do they want to gain out of this Bridge School Partnerships program, should they be selected, and other questions that are part of the application as well. So it's going to be a very holistic application from both the school's perspective as well as from the teacher's perspective. And as part of that process, we'll also do some interviews with the principal, with the school committee, and definitely with the teachers as well. So while it is a very competitive process, in that, we also want to ensure that everyone will get the get the benefit of the program as much as they can, and they've got all the required qualities, if you like, to participate and to gain as much from the program.
If I could just add one point on that, like Asa said, the qualities are really what we're looking for, and English is one of them, but not all of it. But I do want to stress that if a teacher is really interested in joining, the Bridge program is open to all learning areas. So we ask that a teacher has time in the classroom, so not necessarily a principal, unless they're a teaching principal, but they could technically be a maths, biology, arts, the sports teacher, because we've found that when we're trying to build those intercultural connections, it's not only language that the people are sharing about. We have partnerships that are purely connected around STEM, purely connected around biology or culture or history. And so if there are teachers that aren't just English teachers, but think that they'd be a really great asset and they'd be able to engage with Australia, please apply. It's open for all in that regard, no matter what learning area or year levels you teach.
So it is also possible for like Mandarin teachers or maybe any language teacher.
It might be a little hard unless your partner teacher is a Mandarin teacher. So that's why we kind of use English capacity as one of the base levels, because I will say, a lot of the time the Indonesian teacher's English is fabulous and the Australian teacher's Bahasa Indonesia is pretty good. And so if they can converse in either language, that's the dream. That's what we try to aim and try to match partnerships based around.
All right, so it's really clear about this program and how we can just apply for this program. And I think, like besides it is competitive, and then this must be useful, particularly for the personal development teacher itself and also the community. Okay, well, I'm really impressed for our dialogue today. Is there anything that maybe Fitra and Jessica would like to share about this program?
I think that covers the overview of the program, and I am really pleased that we have the time to talk today, Kak Sari, to share with you about the program and also the things that the Bridge program can offer to schools, to teachers, and the wider school community. And hopefully that impact will be long-lasting, as we all hope for, through the sustainable school partnerships that they are leading.
Alright, thank you so much Kak Fitra. Alright, teman-teman pendidik, itu tadi tentang dialog kita mengenai bagaimana kita bisa meng-apply untuk program Bridge, dan juga secara singkat bagaimana overview atau gambaran dari program Bridge ini sendiri. Kita masih ada 3 episode lagi tentang Bridge program yang bisa kita dengarkan dan juga kita tonton di Accidental Teacher Channel. Jadi tungguin, setiap minggunya akan ada sesi bersama program, bersama tim dari Bridge. Di episode berikutnya kita juga akan berbincang dengan teman-teman yang sudah alumni dari Bridge program. Jadi tetap dinantikan di Accidental Teacher Channel. Okay, Nur Fitra and also Jessica, thank you so much for your time today. And I hope that it will help teachers, especially those who are watching this video. They can gain some new insights about Bridge program and also prepare themselves to participate and apply for this program. Goodbye, guys. Bye semua teman-teman pendidik, Bapak Ibu semuanya. Sampai jumpa di video selanjutnya bersama saya Misari. Bye.